Good morning, peeps. I'm just making a quick video for my creatives out there. Hot tips on system building. My background is IT infrastructure, and I grew up building systems, since I was in elementary school. And I haven't built systems for a while because I've just been using MacBook Pros that I get from my various jobs at times. But I'm finally having to build a system after being supplied computers for the last 15 years for my different jobs. And my MacBook Pro, which it's been an awesome machine and I've loved it, it's at the end of its life. So I was trying to figure out, as far as processing power for how much you pay, you pay a serious premium for a Mac, and because it has a closed ecosystem, what you're really paying for is, at least in my opinion, first of all, stability, because Mac is able to have a closed ecosystem in what they do, but also you're getting Time Machine. Time Machine is huge if you are creative and you don't want to spend all this time building your computer every time. I can't remember how many times I've had to build PCs. And this was before my professional career in Macs. Of course, professionally, I'd always use Macs because of this reason. And I had money at that point, the companies gave it to me. But when you don't have a lot of money, PCs are a great way to go. You can do a lot more with a lot less money. So if you're a creative and you don't have a lot of money, yeah, you can put in the footwork to get a good, really powerful system for probably under $1,000 that will be able to fulfill just about all your dreams. Then you would be probably going down the Premiere platform. But of course, I digress. But I wanted to talk about the system I'm buying. So a new modern Mac Pro is going to cost you, if you spec it out all the way to the top, it's going to cost you somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000. I think it's like $33,000, and it's just freaking ludicrous. It's like a server, right? However, in 2013, and I don't really know the timetables that they released it, but they released what is now known as the trash can Mac. So I'll show you. I have a picture up here. There's can you see it? I didn't get it. Oh yeah, see, there it is. There's the trash can Mac. So there's the trash can. And when that came out, everybody was really confused. They're like, what the fuck, Apple? And I really am like, what the fuck, Apple? But what's cool is, with these trash cans, is that I just purchased a 2013 trash can, which these 2013 trash cans generally came in with a 6-core, 3.5 gigahertz processor. This particular one, and I actually got one, I believe it was a 4-core. And so what I did was, you can buy these, and aftermarket, you can get old server CPUs, spend an hour of focus time, pull it apart, put in an old 12-core, it fits the socket of a 12-core 2.7 gigahertz CPU. Then you go from having 6 cores at 3.5 to now you have 12 cores at 2.7, which is equivalent to a current Mac Pro that costs maybe about $9,000. So and you can also upgrade the memory to 64 gigs. So I'm feeling like 12 cores. My Mac Pro is this is going to be 10 times as powerful as my current Mac Pro that I was using. And I'm just scratching this. I'm just kind of getting to the end of it. And it's because I have a huge creative explosion, and I've got all kinds of new projects that I want to work on, whether it be video or wanting to do a lot of software synths and all different kinds of things. However, if you are serious about creating and you don't have a lot of money and you want to go the Mac route, buy yourself a late 2013 Mac Pro. Go look on eBay, and you're going to look for, what was it? I tried to pull it up for y'all. You're going to look for a Xeon E5 2697 version 2 12-core processor. And you will be able to just straight up take that old processor out, put some silicone putty in there, slap it back down. At the same time, spend $150, maybe even just a little over $100 on 64 gigs of ECC registered RAM. Slap that in there, Now you have a $2,000 12 core 2.7 gigahertz hyper threaded, so 12 cores, 24 cores total, 64 gigs of RAM, and you're freaking off to the races. Yeah, you got a trash can on your desk, and you're like, what the fuck is this thing? And you're gonna be tempted, you're gonna be really tempted to throw shit in it because it does look like a trash can. And I am a little bit worried that it's gonna be loud. I didn't even look into that, and I probably should have, but you know what? Fuck it. So yeah, and you can upgrade the SSD too if you want to have a bigger home system, like if you want to have a bigger base hard drive. But the truth is, unless you're having operating system or like apps that need to live on the operating system drive, which most apps do not need to live on the operating system, but if you do, then you can, of course, upgrade the SSD drive too. I just got one that has 256, which is actually going to be the fastest way around. Anyhow, so you can upgrade it, but the SSD drives are proprietary. Like the CPU and the memory are not proprietary to Apple, but because these drives are the hard drives are proprietary to fit in the chassis. It's not like a typical 2.5 or 3.5 slot. It costs $600 to get a terabyte drive. And in fact, between somewhere, the terabyte might be something like $5 for my research, but somewhere between $500 and $700 you can get a 4 terabyte drive. However, the bigger the SSD card, the slower your reads are going to be. So if you really are looking for performance, just stick with the 250 base drive and get what I have here. I'll show you. I have a, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's a Thunderbolt 3.5 dock. These things go on eBay, not eBay, on Amazon for something like $150 or $200. With that, you can just slap any SSD in there. I have a terabyte SSD that I got for $100. And it reads and writes faster than my local disk. So it's a testament to how well Thunderbolt was written. If y'all don't know, Thunderbolt is actually the same architecture, or it uses the same architecture as the PCIe. So, fucking A! Don't buy the new Mac Pro and waste all your money unless you got tons of money and you really need that power. I'd be hard pressed to find somebody who needs it. I mean, if you are like, brah, here, check this out. So I'm on the website now. If you're like, brah, I need 28 cores and 56 threads for $30,000. I'm going to be like, you really need to render that fast, brah? Or like, what are you going to do with all that power? Is it really worth $30,000? Like, you could get like 4 used Priuses. Anyhow, I digress. Hot tips from ShareMoon. Pantera's killing it tonight.